Hello, how you doing? I want to talk about Ed Citronnelli versus TD Jakes. Now, you know, he gave some prophecy about TD Jakes. He said that God said about TD Jakes, he's taken him from nothing in West Virginia and made him a powerhouse preacher in Texas. But he got tied up into celebrity, hanging around celebrities, hanging around the elite, and so on. You know, that's the least, if anything, if even 10% of what they say about TD Jakes is true, that is the least of his problems, that he's hanging around celebrities. But I don't believe God gave him that prophecy, because God would have called out his sin. God would have said, you're doing this, you're doing that, just like he called out King David's sin. So I don't believe that God gave Ed Citronnelli that prophecy. I think Ed Citronnelli is listening to another spirit, a strange spirit, and I don't know anything about it. But like I said, you know, most of the time I do give Ed Citronnelli the benefit of the doubt. I don't go right into it and say, oh, he's a liar. I give him the benefit of the doubt most of the time. But look, I do not believe that God gave him that prophecy, because God would have called out T.D. Jakes' sin just like he called out King David's sin. And just like, I think it was, what, Samuel's two sons, one of them was fat. He couldn't control his two sons or something like that. I think it was Samuel. But look, God called out the sin of his two sons. They were doing this and doing that. See, if God put anybody in leadership, he's going to call out the sins. He's going to call out the sin of the children. He's going to call out the sin of the leader. So, and secondly, I do not believe that God even called T.D. Jakes to preach the gospel. I believe he was chosen by the elite to pacify blacks. See, in other words, T.D. Jakes, he probably tell T.D. Jakes what to talk about. Look, talk about the sweet by and by. Don't talk about now. Don't talk about land ownership. Don't talk about being an entrepreneur. Don't talk about that. Just talk about the sweet by and by. Pacify black people to think about the sweet by and by, not the sour here and now. Don't tell them to empower themselves by owning property, by owning businesses. Just pacify them. I think that T.D. Jakes was chosen by the elite to pacify blacks, to preach the gospel. I do not believe he was chosen by God to preach the gospel. Why? Because if T.D. Jakes is gay at 66, he was gay at 56, 46, 36, 18, 16, 13 years old. I mean, that's what the gay people say. They knew they were gay at a very young age. So if it's true that T.D. Jakes is gay, then he was gay at 13 years old. He's always known that he's gay. God would not call a gay man to preach the gospel. He just wouldn't do that. Why would God call someone to preach the gospel if he performs an abomination? No, God would not call him to do that. So I think essentially it's listening to another spirit. I don't see how he's with Christ. Maybe he believes he is, but I don't see it. You cannot have two masters. I think essentially is one of many that have two masters. There's a whole lot of preachers out there that have two masters. A lot of them. They have two masters. You cannot have two masters. You got to choose this day whom you will serve. Bye.